Hey, what's up YouTube? Welcome back to my page. This is Joe Meets World. So today I'm gonna be doing my first movie review, one of many, hopefully get some views, hopefully get some traction and stuff like that. But it's gonna be of the Eternals. I don't know why I just did my shoulder like that. But anyway, I went to go see it on Thursday night, just for entertainment purposes. I knew I was gonna do a review, and then I went to go see it again on Saturday night, just so I can analyze the movie just a little bit more for this review. Let me give a full disclaimer. There are gonna be spoilers. I am not a comic book geek, but I did read some comic books when I was growing up in junior high school. And 3, I get most of my comic book information from YouTubers and some opinions and stuff like that that kind of help shape what I thought about the movie as well. But overall, this is mainly what I think of the movie. I just use some of their parts as highlights that I might have missed for my thing. If I didn't like it, I'm not going to say, oh, John Campea liked it or Emergency Awesome liked it. I like it too. No, I was like, oh, they pointed something out and I thought that was a good detail. So because this was the lowest critic rating movie of the MCU, I kind of went in there trying to still have an open mind of it, but I wanted to kind of analyze the negatives on why it would be rated so low. So with that being said, I will say this is the first MCU movie that doesn't really feel like an MCU movie. Now, with that being said, that kind of goes into the cons of the movie, but it also brings the pluses into the movies, which I'll go over later. But here's the things I didn't like about the movie. Some of the Greek names, while I don't mind the Greek names, you know, you go from simple Iron Man, Spiderman, Ant-Man, Falcon, Captain America to Icarus and Athena, Phaedos. Can't remember all the names, to be honest. Off the top of my head, I would have to go back to my notebook. But yeah, it's just the character development was great. I couldn't connect with the characters long enough to remember all their names. I remember Cersei because she's probably the main character of the movie, and she has a relationship with 2 people from Game of Thrones. Go figure. I remember Icarus because he's the second main character, and he's one of the best characters. At first, I'm like, I don't know if I really like him. He's stiff, but I think that was the purpose. He was supposed to be this stiff, I'm stuck in my kind of ways thing. And yes, I'm gonna step out my zone to fall in love, but I have an objective. Next thing was the jokes. Throughout the MCU has had some great jokes, some great punchlines. Timing has been right. The MCU seems to embody that, where DCU or other action movies might not hit it so well. This one kind of fell when it came to the comedy. I think it missed 4 or 5 opportunities for a good joke. Only one that was decent was the IKEA joke, and we've seen that in the trailer. There's a couple things that wasn't needed in this movie, but it's one real thing that wasn't really needed, which was the sex scene. This is the first sex scene I've seen in a Marvel movie. We've seen the romantic kiss, but this was a sex scene on the beach. There was no nudity. It was tasteful and all, but this is a Marvel movie, and kids tend to want to go to Marvel movies. Parents want to take their kids to Marvel movies because the parents enjoy it and the kids enjoy it, and we all come out enjoying the movie, and I felt like it just wasn't needed there. Next thing I didn't care for was the Kit Harington. While he is a great actor, we all seen him in Game of Thrones. He lasted throughout all the seasons. He even died once and came back. Spoiler alert, I'm gonna apologize if you didn't see Game of Thrones, but if you haven't seen it, that was a couple seasons ago anyway, so you had no plans on seeing it, and if you happen to watch my video, you're probably gonna forget it anyway. Kit Harington had a relationship going on with Cersei, and there was lack of chemistry. So for me, I kind of give that the thumbs down on that part. It was nice to see Kit Harington. It's just I don't see him. I still see Jon Snow. Next character was Sprite. While I loved the acting and I love the character development, I just felt like her powers and her point of being was kind of pointless. I just didn't feel a connection with her, and when she turned on her Eternals to help Icarus because she's in love with him, I didn't quite believe it. Drung, again, a character's powers that I didn't feel was actually necessary. He did have a couple key parts which I'm going to highlight later on that was pros, but as overall the character wasn't really needed. I mean, we see him, he stops people from doing what they're doing, you know, and that's kind of it. But I love his acting. I felt the emotion when he was on it, but the character himself, it was just like, felt throwaway. All right, no, the main deviant, the bad guy, or what we thought would be the bad guy, just fell flat. Now, I understood his motivations as a character, but I never seen Bill Skarsgård act. We did see his dad in it, and the guy has charisma, and I want to hope that he falls in line with his father. Maybe I'll watch one of his movies just to kind of see what kind of acting he gets. But I felt like this was another iteration of the Dark Elf where, yeah, I'm the bad guy, but we have a bigger bad. You're just a stand-in character to fill in that bad role. Okay, the next character is going to be the last character that I kind of have a negative review of, which was Salma Hayek. She did great in her scenes, all the acting and stuff like that was on point, but I just felt like there was lack of use of her, and I can understand why. But if you have a big name like Salma Hayek, you utilize her, and you kind of just let her be. You had her as a mom figure instead of that overall leadership position that she was intended to be. The next negative I have about the movie is a plot device. You know that by stopping the Celestial, that you are creating a conflict between the Judge Celestial. So stopping it, putting it to sleep, killing it is all going to be negative, but yet you're worried about killing it when they're talking about killing billions of people on the earth and destroying the earth as a whole. So it just didn't make sense to me why you wouldn't want to just go right for the kill. My next complaint was Kingo leaving right before the final battle. He was a great character and I really liked him, so it was kind of weird to see him leave. I understood his morality of not wanting to fight his family, but not wanting to disobey the Celestials because he felt like they were doing the right thing. Alright, and I'm going to go right back into Kit Harington. My biggest thing, you have such a big actor and all it was for setup for a post-credit scene. Unless you know comic book history, I don't know anything about Dane Whiteman until I watched a couple YouTubers explain that he's going to be the Black Knight. And then you had the missed opportunity of having Icarus and Dane Whiteman, both Game of Thrones alumni, working together. You just had one small scene with them together and it just wasn't as fun as we hoped it would be. It seemed like I did a lot of complaining about the movie, but let's go into what I liked about it. First thing I did was I enjoyed some of the characters. I know I complained about a few of them, but now I'm going to which ones I actually liked, which was, in no particular order, Kingo and Karan. Their chemistry was amazing, and Karan's chemistry with everyone else was amazing. And Karan's a limited amount of cameras that he tends to have with him to record this little documentary of the Eternals in a movie of the Eternals. Gilgamesh, the powerhouse of the crew, he bitch slaps one of the deviants, brought a little chuckle in the movie theater. While it wasn't meant to be a joke, it just shows the brute force of him, and he played his role to the T. Thanos, I love the character. His technology was a fresh take on technology in the MCU. We've been seeing nanotech and Iron Man and a little bit of what Black Panther and Shuri, and he had amazing character development to the point where I think he stood out as the most developed and well-rounded character in the movie. The next character is Makari. She is the first speedster that Marvel actually did right. Quicksilver was okay in Age of Ultron, but he just wasn't the speedster that we wanted. We kind of wanted the one from the Fox universe, but he's not here. We have this one. She was a badass. She stole the scene in every scene she was in, no pun intended, because she did have little sticky fingers throughout the movie. And then last but not least, on my second time watching it, Icarus's character was one of the highlights of the movie. At first I was like, oh man, he's dry and stiff, but that is the point of the character. He is there with a mission, with a goal, and even though he does fall in love, he knows his mission and he wants to stick to it, which it means destroying the earth and having a celestial born. It doesn't matter to him. That's the purpose of his mission, and he wanted to see it through, which gave him great character development at the end. And to wrap it up, Athena, the goddess of war, Angelina Jolie, and she did an amazing job and she looked amazing in the uniform. I did talk about Durad's character and how I didn't care for his character, but when he had his relationship he had going on with Makari was amazing. I believed in their chemistry more than Cersei's relationship with Dane and more than Cersei's relationship with Icarus. And I almost forgot about Icarus, the guy to stop, as far as he wanted the emergence to happen because that was his mission. So I didn't see him as a bad character, but kind of stumbled on the purpose of the deviants. He kind of reminds you of Superman in a sense, and they even made a DC reference with Superman. Overall, I thought it was a great movie. You get a character character-driven movie with good action scenes instead of just a action movie with character-driven scenes. Had 2 end-credit scenes, 1 post-credit scene and then 1 end-credit scene. The post-credit scene, you had Thanos' brother, Star Fox, come out with his little bad CGI, little whatever he was, and introduce himself. And I was like, okay, this is gonna go back to a Marvel villain movie for the sequel. We'll see. I just felt like that was Marvel. This whole movie was Marvel, but it was just a deviation from the Marvel's template. The end credit scene with Kent Harington getting the sword, like I said, I just wasn't emotionally invested into the character to care about the swords. We do hear a voice saying his name in the background, and later on I found out that that's Mahershala Ali, which is gonna be our new Blade in the next coming few years. I don't know how they're gonna tie Blade in with the Black Knight. I'm not familiar with the Black Knight comic books at all. I saw a couple Blade movies as well as saw him on different iterations of comic book TV shows, cartoons mainly. Didn't see the HBO special, but anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Leave some comments in the comment section, letting me know how I did, letting me know how I can improve, letting me know what you thought about the movie. Let's talk about it. Hopefully you liked this video. If you did, hit the like button. If you didn't, hit the subscribe button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the little bell for notifications. Until then, I will see you later.
Whose world is this? World source, yeah.